Hi guys, I'm Phil Town from Rule One Investing, and today I want to talk to you about something dear to my heart. What's the best way to invest when you're young? You're in your 20s. When it comes to investing, the earlier you start, the better. Compounding works in such a way that your money grows exponentially on itself. And what that means is that a person who starts investing just a few years earlier could end up with many times more money when it comes time to retire than they would if they had just started later in life. Now, if you're in your 20s and you're wanting to get a head start on investing, here are a few tips to help you out. Okay, first, what you want to do is learn to invest. Big surprise, right? So you're going to have to figure out how investing is done. You got some choices here, right? And I've kind of gone through an awful lot of the things you're going to have to look at. So let me just give you some advice from about, 35 years of doing this. There's a family of investors that started with Ben Graham and then to Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, down through these teachers, down to me, and from me to thousands of students, about a kind of investing strategy that is the best in the world. This is where the millionaires and billionaires come from. It's a strategy you can use whether you're starting your own business, buying a franchise or building one, whether you're buying the house next door to rent it. This strategy of investing, we call rule number one investing, is the strategy in the world that you should learn as early as possible so that you have your whole life ahead of you to compound money. Now, once you've learned something about how to invest, then you want to start getting control of your cash. So the first thing you got to do is pay off that student debt. Right now, student debt is such a common burden for people in their 20s, and I want to apologize to you from my entire generation for screwing all you guys on your college tuition. If you still have outstanding student debt, paying it off should be your primary investing goal. It's a real shame because I'll tell you, man, when I went to college, it was really a lot cheaper. And since then, the cost of living has been about 3% per year. Colleges have gone up at 8% per year. And I know that doesn't sound like that big a difference, but it's the difference between going to school for $1,000 a semester versus going to it for $20,000 a semester. In the same way that sound investments grow your wealth exponentially, this debt that you've had to incur is also increasing exponentially, and it grows larger and larger as the years go by. It's brutal, and I feel for you. So before you wade into the stock market, just got to get out from under that burden every way you can think of it. Just start by eliminating that debt because it's going to hold you back in the long term. Third, get into some form of retirement account. They call it a qualified accounts. You've got a company 401k plan where they match your funds. That's an okay one. I'm not a super fan of that unless, of course, they allow you to invest your money any way you want to, and more of them are doing that. But if you're in a 401k program where they match and then you're forced to invest in mutual funds, I'm afraid that within the next couple of years, you're going to be giving it all back. So I would strongly urge you to invest where you can get control of where that money is going in some place other than mutual funds. I would put it into a Roth IRA or a regular IRA where you're managing the money. A Roth is fantastic. So 401ks are great if they're going to match and match and match and all that. But man, once they've matched, then you're in this ridiculous investment. With a Roth, man alive, they're fantastic because you pay taxes on the money before it goes into the Roth, but then you never pay taxes on the growth of that cash. So I'll tell you, you got a Roth IRA and you got a regular IRA. The key thing is you get your money into a place where you can control it and you have the ability to pick and choose your investments using the principles that Ben Graham and Buffett and Munger have taught us. And that way you're going to get the maximum returns. As for why a Roth IRA is preferable for individuals in their 20s as opposed to, let's say, a traditional IRA, Roths require you pay the taxes on your contribution first, right? And you're in a low tax bracket in your 20s typically. So people in a higher tax bracket in their 50s maybe should use a regular IRA because they might be paying 35 or 40% tax. If you're paying 20% tax, you want that money in an IRA to grow without taxation on it ever. Fifth, create a budget and set savings goals. This is really important, and I am the wrong person to teach you about it. I am the worst budgeter on the planet and horrible at savings goals. So if it's any consolation, you can still get wealthy even without doing this. However, when I first started, I didn't have a budget, but I had a discipline of living on very little money. And that is kind of what I'm talking about here. Creating a budget so that you are forced into a limited amount of spending and sticking to it is one of the things that's going to help you get disciplined about your investing. So here's what I would suggest. From every single paycheck, designate a certain percentage that comes out right off the top. In other words, pay yourself first. And I know you've heard that, everybody's heard that, but it's really important that you do it in your 20s, because those dollars you're saving and putting away in your 20s, money that I know you could live on it better, you could have a better car, you could have better clothes, you could take some trips that you want to take. But that money that you're putting away, oh man, that turns into millions of dollars later on. If you don't think that's important, let me just cue you up here. Warren Buffett was in an elevator going up with a bunch of insurance guys, and one of these guys said they were watching Buffett looking at a penny on the floor of the elevator. And he said, I was wondering if Buffett was going to bend over and pick up this penny, right? This billionaire. And he didn't do it. He didn't pick up the penny. And as the doors opened up, Buffett stepped out. Then he looked back at these guys. Before the doors closed, he reached down and picked up the penny. And he just held it up like this. And he went, beginning of the next billion. The point is that Buffett understands the power of compounding. Understands the power of a little money in today. What that means 30 or 40 years from now is millions of dollars. So setting a budget, very important to get the money into an investing account before you spend it. So in addition to setting a budget that includes the money you're going to pay yourself first, you also want to set specific investment goals. How much money do you want to have invested by the time you're 30, right? How much can you see pulling out, keeping the belt tight, keeping focused, because that money is going to make you very rich someday. And how much money do you need to invest each month or each year in order to achieve that goal? If you set a savings goal and you push yourself to achieve it, you're going to find it much easier to stay motivated and push yourself further. And I would say this, if you are having trouble figuring out what's the best way to go, lean toward just saying, I'm going to put 10% of the money that I make goes right into the kitty. Goes right into my investment account right off the top, and just stick with that 10% every time. So let me give you an example of how important it is to put money aside now and invest it. Let's say that you are going to go through, you're going to double your money 20 times over a course of a lifetime. All right, so you got $1,000 now and you're going to double it 20 times. All right, let's just walk through this. $1,000 is 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64,000, right? 128,000, 250, 500,000, a million. That's 10 doubles. 2 million, 4 million, 8 million, 16 million, 32 million, 64 million, 128 million, 300, whatever that is, 250 million, 500 million, $1 billion. So $1,000 doubled 20 times is $1 billion. Now think about that for a second. If you take this $1,000 and instead of putting it away where you could double it 20 times in your lifetime like Buffett has, he's done much better than that actually, you just took $1,000 and bought a refrigerator with it, and that refrigerator 30, 40 years later cost you almost $1 billion. So the power of compounding is crazy in terms of making you wealthy. Yeah, you might not double 20 times, and you only double 10 times, it becomes $1 million. You really want to give up $1 million to have a refrigerator? I don't think so. So now I'd love to hear from you guys. Do you have investing goals set for yourself? Maybe you should. So leave a comment below with your answer and I'll be sure to follow up with you. And thanks for watching, you guys. Now go play. So if you enjoyed this video and you feel it was valuable in teaching you more about investing when you're young, hit the like button and please share this video with your friends. And if you want more investing content, subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to click the button on the screen for a free gift. Thanks again for watching.